Cole Westford stood alone at the edge of his ranch, watching the twin moons rise over the red desert plains. The wind carried sand across the metal fences, brushing against old cattle drones and half-broken solar panels. His ranch was not large, not rich, but it was his home. He worked here for years, building every wall with his own hands, planting crops in soil that fought him every season. Redstone Plains was a hard world, but Cole was harder. Tonight was special. He brushed the dust from his coat and checked himself again in the window reflection. A new shirt, clean boots, hair tied back. He had never dressed like this for anyone before. He was nervous, more nervous than he had been in any gunfight or storm, because tonight he was getting a wife, a mail-order bride from Earth, someone who chose frontier life, someone who wanted to stand beside a man who worked the land, someone who might finally end his lonely nights on this empty planet. The ship from Earth was late, the sky was quiet, only the soft hum of distant mining engines echoed from the valley. Cole checked the time again. The transport should have arrived an hour ago. Maybe the ship landed on another port, maybe she changed her mind. He tried to stay calm, but doubt pulled on his chest like a rope. He looked down at the small metal box in his hands. Inside it was a necklace he made himself, silver wire shaped like a crescent moon, something simple, something honest. He wanted her first memory of him to be kindness, not just a rough rancher on a lonely world. The sound of engines cut through the silence. Cole turned sharply. A single ship broke through the low clouds, glowing faint red from atmospheric heat. But something felt wrong. It was no passenger ferry. The ship was too small, too armored, no company markings, no registry light. It looked like a vessel built to run, not transport brides. It landed far from the main port, right by the old dust fields. Cole hesitated, his heart tightening, but he walked forward anyway. Maybe plans changed, maybe she came alone for privacy. He hoped for a gentle smile, maybe a soft greeting, maybe tears of relief after a long journey. The ramp opened with a hiss, smoke drifted out like fog in moonlight. Cole stepped closer, holding the necklace box. Someone stepped out, not slowly, not shyly. She moved like a hunter, boots hit the ground with heavy purpose. It was not a human woman. She pulled down her hood, revealing skin like dark obsidian with faint blue markings that pulsed like veins beneath the surface. Her eyes glowed golden, sharp like a predator watching prey. 2 long braids of silver hair fell across her shoulders, and strapped across her back were 2 plasma revolvers, weapons outlawed on most core worlds. Cole froze, his breath caught in his chest. This was no bride, this was a fighter. She stared at him without blinking, then spoke, her voice low, words sharp with an alien accent. "You are Cole Westford." He stepped back, hand drifting toward his holster by instinct. "Who are you?" he asked, trying to keep his voice steady. "Where is my bride?" She dropped a small metal card on the sand, the official travel ID. The name printed was the same as the woman he was supposed to marry, same registry, same approval stamp, but the face was not hers. The alien woman stepped forward, stopping inches from Cole's boots. She leaned close enough for him to smell burnt metal on her coat. "She is not coming," she whispered. "I came in her place." A cold chill spread across Cole's spine. His mind tried to catch up to the truth. If she took the bride's identity, then what happened to the real woman? Was she hurt, killed, missing, or did she never exist at all? Cole tightened his jaw. "Why are you here?" The alien woman didn't smile, didn't look guilty, didn't look afraid. She looked tired, like someone chased across systems with no place left to hide. "I need land, cover, silence," she said slowly, "and your ranch gives me all 3. Cole shook his head, anger rising. "You can't just take someone's place. This is my home. I won't." Before he finished, she pulled one pistol from her back so fast the air cracked. She didn't point it at him, instead she pointed at the sky behind him. Cole turned, his eyes widened. 3 dark ships approached, flying low without lights, no sound, no broadcast, their wings marked with symbols of the Syndicate, a ruthless ring of bounty hunters known across the frontier. The alien holstered her gun, eyes still fixed on the sky. "They are not here for you," she said. "They are here for me." Cole's heartbeat thundered through his ears. He never planned for this, never asked for this. He only wanted a wife and a quiet life, not a war on his doorstep. The alien stepped closer, her voice low. "If they find me, they will kill everyone here to erase witnesses." Cole looked at her, then at the horizon where the ships were closing fast. He felt the weight of a choice he never asked for, a choice that could decide life or death. The night was silent again, but the danger was not. And Cole Westford realized his life would never be simple again. Cole stood frozen as the 3 dark ships descended toward the ranch. Their engines left streaks of silver heat across the night sky. The alien woman did not run, did not hide. She simply watched the approach like she expected this moment, maybe feared it. Cole's throat tightened. He had paid for a bride, not a battle, not a criminal on the run. not syndicate hunters on his land, but the universe did not care about his plans tonight. Inside, she whispered, her voice firm but low, if they see us out here they will fire on sight. Cole clenched his fists. Why should I help you? She turned, golden eyes staring deep into him. Because if I die they will kill you too, she said. Syndicate leaves no witnesses? Before Cole could argue, the first ship hovered over the far end of his ranch, floodlights activated, sweeping across the desert, his cattle drones stampeded in fear, metal hooves shaking the ground. Cole swallowed hard and motioned her toward the barn's underground bunker, a place he never thought he would need for anything more than storms and raiders. They moved quickly through the shadows, sand crunching under boots. Inside the barn, the air smelled of fuel, hay, and rusted metal. Cole opened a steel hatch in the floor, revealing stairs that led to a deep basement carved into old stone. The alien woman descended first, her steps silent, controlled. Cole followed and sealed the hatch above them, locking out the night and the syndicate lights. The underground room was lit by old lantern strips, walls lined with tools, spare rifle parts, and survival supplies. Cole breathed hard, his chest tight. The alien removed her coat, revealing sleek armor plates beneath, something reinforced with star-forged alloy, nothing a civilian could buy legally. Cole leaned against the wall. Tell me what is happening, he demanded. Why did you take her identity? The alien's eyes softened, not with pity but exhaustion. My name is Vecra Tischer, she said slowly. Former syndicate sharpshooter, former bounty hunter, now enemy of the people I once served. Cole narrowed his eyes. You're a criminal? She shook her head. I am hunted because I refused to kill an innocent child, she said quietly. Syndicate does not forgive mercy. Cole felt something shift inside him. She did not sound like a monster. She sounded like someone who ran because she still had a soul left. But why come here? He asked. Why my ranch? Vecra hesitated, then spoke again. I found a way off-world. I took the ticket of your bride. Cole looked away as a heavy realization hit him. Where is she? He whispered. The real woman who was supposed to come. Vecra lowered her eyes. She never boarded. The identity was listed but no human arrived at the port. Cole felt anger rise again, tighter than before. So you used me? Vecra stepped closer. I used the ticket, not you, she said calmly. I did not know who you were until I arrived. Outside, engines roared louder. The syndicate ships deployed troops. Their boots slammed the sand. Scanning drones buzzed through the air like metallic insects. A robotic voice echoed outside through speakers. Target detected in radius. Search all structures. Cole felt his stomach drop. These hunters were not here to negotiate, they came to kill. The bunker trembled faintly as footsteps landed above them, armored troops moving across the barn floor, scanning devices humming like angry wasps. Cole whispered sharply, if they find us they'll burn my ranch, everything I built. Vecra turned her head, listening, her eyes narrowing. I can leave through the back exit, she said. Draw them away from your home? Cole stared at her, confused. You'd sacrifice yourself? She shrugged lightly. Better me than your land, I owe you that much. Cole frowned, something inside him refusing the idea. No, he said, voice firm. If they want a fight, they can have one. He moved to a gun locker on the wall, unlocked it, and pulled out 2 long-barrel slug rifles, primitive compared to syndicate weapons, but deadly in human hands. Vecra watched him with surprise. Projectile weapons, she whispered, old tech. Cole loaded the rifle with metal rounds, snapping the chamber shut. Old tech works best against fancy shields, he said. Energy armor can block plasma, but it can't stop steel. A faint smile touched Vecra's lips, not mocking but approving. You humans are strange, she murmured. You fight like you were born in war. Cole tossed her a spare rifle. She caught it smoothly, testing its weight. Never used something this old, she said, but I can learn. Up above, heavy boots stopped right over their heads. A scanner beeped sharply, detecting heat signatures through the floor. Cole's heart pounded. Vecra tightened her grip on the rifle. They found us, she whispered. Cole took a slow breath, ready to defend his home, ready to defend someone he barely knew, ready for a fight he never wanted but now could not escape. The hatch rattled as syndicate soldiers began cutting through the metal. Sparks fell into the darkness like falling stars. Vecra stepped beside him, shoulder to shoulder. You are no rancher tonight, she said softly. Tonight you are a warrior. Cole raised his rifle, eyes cold and steady. And you are not a runaway, he replied. Tonight you fight with me. The metal hatch burst open with a blast, and the first soldier dropped through in a shower of sparks. The battle for the ranch had begun. The first syndicate soldier dropped through the broken hatch like a shadow of steel. His visor glowed red, scanning the basement for movement. Cole fired before the soldier could even raise his weapon. The slug round hit the chest plate and punched straight through, armor cracking like glass. The soldier collapsed without a sound. Vecra stopped breathing for a second, shocked by how fast a primitive human rifle killed a trained hunter. She whispered under her breath, "Your weapons break shields like knives through skin." Cole chambered another round, voice hard. This ranch was built to survive invaders, not storms. More soldiers descended, 3 at once. Vecra moved with inhuman speed, twisting, firing from the hip. Her shots were silent but deadly, each bullet finding a visor slit or exposed joint. Cole covered the opposite side, shooting anyone who rushed forward. The basement filled with smoke, sparks, and the sharp echo of steel bullets ricocheting off stone walls. But the syndicate was endless. Every soldier they dropped felt like a scout, not the main force. Soon grenades rolled across the floor, blinking red. Vecra grabbed Cole's arm, dragging him behind a steel crate as explosions rocked the underground room. Dirt rained from the ceiling, lantern lights flickered. The bunker was built strong, but not for constant bombardment. "We need to move," Vecra said sharply. "If we stay here, they will collapse the whole structure." Cole wiped blood from his forehead, not sure if it was his or someone else's. "Back tunnels?" he said, pointing to a hatch at the far wall. "Old mineshafts lead to the canyon cliffs. We can flank them." Vecra nodded, impressed again. "You planned escape routes." Cole pushed open the hatch. Frontier worlds teach hard lessons. They entered the tunnel, narrow and dark, air thick with dust. The sound of syndicate cutters above them continued, slicing deeper, soldiers dropping to search empty space. Cole and Vecra moved quietly through the tunnels, footsteps echoing against stone. Cole led with a lantern, Vecra behind him, rifle ready, eyes glowing faintly in the darkness. After several minutes, they reached the canyon opening. Moonlight washed over jagged rocks and deep-shadowed cliffs. The syndicate ships hovered overhead, shining beams across the ranch. More troops landed from above like metal insects preparing to kill anything that moved. Cole gritted his teeth. "They're tearing apart everything I built." Vecra looked at him, something soft flickering beneath her hardened expression. "I didn't mean to bring this to your life," she said quietly. "I only wanted a place to hide." Cole shook his head. "Doesn't matter now, what matters is driving them off." Across the canyon ridge, soldiers deployed pulse shields, ready for a full ground sweep. Cole and Vecra took positions behind boulders. Rifles aimed. Cole fired first, hitting a shield pack on a soldier's back. It exploded, sending 3 troopers flying. Vecra followed, shooting precise shots through shifting shield gaps. Every bullet she fired carried years of assassin training, deadly and calm. The syndicate finally realized the attacks came from the cliffs. Drones swarmed toward their location, buzzing like angry metallic hornets. Cole switched ammunition to EMP rounds, firing into the cluster. The drones sputtered and fell like broken fireworks. Vecra raised a brow. "You keep special ammo on a ranch." Cole smiled slightly. "Expect trouble, live longer." But the victory was short. Above them a shadow passed across the moon, massive and silent. A syndicate warship descended, wings folding like a predatory bird preparing to strike. It was too big for ground troops, too armored for rifles. Its cannons glowed, charging plasma. Vecra cursed under her breath. They deployed a capital-class strike ship. Cole felt his heart drop. He knew that ship could wipe his ranch off the map in seconds. "Why send something that big for one outlaw?" he asked, struggling to understand. Vecra's expression hardened, eyes narrowing with familiar pain. "Because they cannot allow me to speak." Cole turned to her, breathing heavy. "Speak about what?" She looked away, the truth pressing on her like a weight. "I was part of a mission to cleanse a neutral colony," she said slowly. "Children, civilians, innocent people. I refused the order, I saved them instead." Cole stared at her, the world going silent around them. "So this is punishment?" She nodded, voice breaking but controlled. "Syndicate cannot let mercy become a story." Before Cole could reply, the warship's lights flashed red, its cannons fired. A plasma blast slammed into the canyon wall, cracks splitting stone, heat washed over them like wildfire. They threw themselves to the ground as debris crashed around them. Cole's ears rang, dust filling his lungs. Vecra crawled to her feet, fury blazing in her eyes. "They are not here to capture me anymore," she said. "They are here to erase everything." Cole pushed himself up, coughing. "Then we end this." He pointed to a ridge-mounted turret hidden beneath rock plating. It was old Earth tech, long-range, reinforced for war. He activated it manually, gears grinding, panels unfolding like steel wings. The cannon hummed with power, charging magnetic rails. Vecra stepped beside him, gripping her rifle. "This is madness." Cole smirked, eyes cold. "No, this is my home." The turret fired, a thunderous blast echoing across the desert. The projectile tore through the warship's shields, ripping into its engines. The ship lurched violently, flames bursting from its wings. Syndicate troops panicked, scrambling for cover, alarms screaming across the valley. Vecra looked at him with new eyes, no longer seeing a lonely rancher, but a force the galaxy underestimated. "You are dangerous," she whispered. "Humans always are." But the warship, despite the damage, stabilized. Its engines roared hotter, brighter, preparing a second strike, this time aimed directly at the ranch house, the heart of everything Cole built. Vecra grabbed his arm, eyes wide. "If that shot lands, everything you love burns." Cole stared at the glowing cannon, breath heavy, mind racing. They had survived the first wave, but this next attack could end everything. The night sky lit blood red as the warship prepared to fire again. Cole clenched his rifle, and for the first time he felt not fear but rage. This fight was no longer about protecting an alien stranger. This fight was about protecting his home, his life, his future. The war was no longer coming. It was already here. The Syndicate warship hovered above the ranch like a burning steel predator. Engines roared across the desert, shaking the ground under Cole's boots. The plasma cannon charged again, a sphere of violent blue light forming at the ship's core, ready to erase everything in one strike. Cole's hands shook with anger and fear. Vecra stood beside him, her eyes following the warship's every movement, tense, calculating. "We cannot stay out here," she said, voice low. "The next blast will kill us." Cole pointed toward a rocky ledge. "There is an old mounted railgun hidden beneath that ridge, but we need time to charge it again." Vecra nodded. "You set traps across your land." Cole answered without looking at her. "On a world like Redstone, you don't get to be surprised twice." They ran through the canyon, ducking under falling debris as the warship strafed the ground with energy fire. Sparks burst around them, sand turning into molten glass. They slipped into a narrow ravine, protected for the moment by tall stone pillars carved by ancient winds. Cole finally stopped, breathing hard, sweat and dust mixing on his skin. He turned to Vecra. "Before we fight again, I want answers." Vecra stiffened as if she expected this moment, her golden eyes dimmed slightly. "Ask." Cole stepped forward, voice tight. "You stole the identity of the bride I ordered. Why me? Why this ranch?" Vecra's expression shifted, not defensive but sorrowful, like she carried a secret too heavy for her shoulders alone. "You think I chose you," she said softly, "but the truth is worse." He frowned. "What do you mean worse?" Vecra took a breath, voice trembling despite her strength. "The marriage program was a trap." Cole blinked, confused. "A trap for who?" "For you," she whispered. "The company that arranged your bride never intended to send a wife. They wanted your land. They needed someone isolated, someone without allies, someone easy to eliminate." Cole's jaw clenched, anger flaring. "Why would they want my land?" Vecra looked toward the distant ranch, her voice low. "Because there is something beneath it." Cole stared at her, stunned. "Beneath my ranch?" She nodded slowly. "Ancient human technology, older than any record I have seen." Cole shook his head. "That makes no sense. Humans have only been on this planet 100 years. Vecra's eyes narrowed with a different kind of understanding. "You think humans began with colonies like this? But humans existed long before the Council recorded your arrival. You are not new to the stars, you are returning." Cole felt the world tilt beneath him. "You are saying humans were here before?" "Here and everywhere," she whispered. "Your species is older than the Syndicate, older than the Council, older than the stars they claim to own." Before Cole could speak, a tremor shook the ground beneath them. At first it felt like another plasma blast. But this vibration came from below, not above. The canyon floor cracked open slightly, dust rising in a spiral of glowing particles. Cole stepped back in shock. "What is happening?" Vecra stared at the glowing fissures, pupils contracting. "The ancient technology is waking up." Cole's voice cracked. "Because of the fighting?" "No," Vecra said slowly, "because of you." Before he could respond, the ground split wider, releasing a pulse of blinding blue light that shot into the sky like a beacon. The Syndicate warship halted midair, scanners turning toward the signal in panic. Distant alarms echoed across its hull. The light spread outward like a wave across the desert, illuminating hidden machinery beneath the planet's crust, metal roots, forgotten structures, dormant engines. Cole raised his hand, staring at the glowing cracks beneath his feet. "This wasn't just land," he whispered. "This was buried history." Vecra stepped beside him, voice trembling in rare awe. "Your ancestors left weapons, beacons, knowledge, things the galaxy was never meant to find." Cole turned sharply, eyes locked on hers. "So I was supposed to die to keep this hidden?" Vecra shook her head. "No, you were supposed to die so others could claim it. Syndicate serves powers older than you think. They fear humans not because you are weak, but because you might remember who you were." The warship above fired another barrage, this time not at the ranch but at the glowing fissures trying to destroy the awakening structures. The beam struck the canyon, but instead of burning rock, a shield of pure light erupted from the ground, deflecting the blast into the sky like a mirror. The warship reeled, engines sparking from feedback. Cole stared, stunned. It protects itself. Vecra nodded. It protects you. Cole turned to her, voice steady. You knew this would happen. She lowered her gaze. I suspected. I came here because saving you means saving the truth. Cole stepped closer, expression hard now, less confused, more resolved. You came as a runaway, he said, voice low, but now I think you came as something else. Vecra met his eyes, the glow of ancient light reflecting in her gaze. I came to survive, she said, but maybe I came to stand with you. Above them, the warship circled again, preparing a final attack with desperation burning in its engines. Troops retreated, officers screamed orders, fear spread through the syndicate ranks like a virus. Vecra tightened her grip on her rifle. They will keep coming until nothing remains. Cole looked toward the ranch, the beacon, the sky full of burning metal, and finally at Vecra. His voice held no doubt now. Then we stop them here. Sand lifted in the wind, engines roared overhead, ancient machines hummed beneath their feet, and the entire desert seemed to breathe for the first time in centuries. This was no longer a simple battle for survival. This was a battle for truth, power, and history itself. And Cole Westford was no longer a lonely rancher. He had just become the heir of a forgotten empire. The desert trembled beneath Cole's boots as ancient machines awakened fully. The glowing fissures spread across the ranch like veins of light, connecting to massive metal structures rising slowly from the sand, spinning with forgotten power. The air hummed like thunder trapped in stone. Vecra watched with wide eyes, her voice barely a whisper. Your ancestors were not farmers or wanderers, they were architects of war. Above them, the syndicate warship recovered from the shockwave, engines roaring back to full power, its cannons charged again, but now with desperate fear rather than control. Cole narrowed his eyes. They know they're running out of time. Vecra loaded her rifle, heat vents glowing along the barrel. They want to destroy the beacon before it sends a signal. Cole gripped his weapon. A signal to who? The ground answered for them. A blast of blue energy shot upward, punching through clouds. The beam traveled beyond atmosphere, beyond sight. Vecra whispered. A signal to the human fleet, wherever they are. The syndicate warship screeched across the sky, charging every weapon at once. It descended lower, close enough for Cole to see the cracks in its armor from earlier hits. Alarms echoed from its hull, crews shouting, engines overloading. They were not just retaliating now, they were trying to end everything in one final strike. Cole stepped forward, shoulders tense, no fear left in his eyes. We end this now. The ancient machines beneath the ranch shifted, pulling metal plates together, forming a massive tower of steel and light. It pulsed like a beating heart. Cole reached out and touched its surface. His hand fit into a carved groove. It recognized him. A surge of power spread through the tower, activating internal rail cannons hidden beneath shifting panels. The tower rotated, targeting the warship overhead. Vecra stepped back in disbelief. It responds to you like you are its commander. Cole didn't answer. He only placed both hands on the glowing console. The tower's cannons fired. A beam of condensed kinetic force shot upward. Not plasma, not lasers, but something older, stronger. The blast ripped through the underside of the warship, tearing it open like paper. Flames burst outward, engines exploded, debris scattered across the sky. The warship began to fall, burning, spinning, crashing toward the horizon in a trail of fire. The explosion lit the desert like sunrise. Troops on the ground fled in panic, dropping weapons, abandoning their wounded. Some ran for escape pods. Others knelt, staring at Cole as if witnessing something holy or terrifying, whispering in fear. Human. Elder blood. War ancestor. Vecra watched them run, her jaw tight. They will return. Cole nodded. Let them, he said. Next time we will not be alone. Silence settled over the plains, broken only by crackling flames and distant alarms fading to nothing. The ranch was damaged, fences torn, crops burned, machinery ruined, but Cole felt something alive beneath it all, like a heartbeat inside the earth. The ancient structure dimmed but remained awake, no longer buried or forgotten. Vecra holstered her rifle, turning to Cole. You have a choice now, she said softly. You can leave this world and join whatever power your ancestors command, or stay here and protect what rises next. Cole looked at the ranch, the ruins, the rising tower of forgotten technology. He breathed deeply, the smell of smoke and metal filling his lungs. This is my home, he said quietly. I will protect it even if the whole galaxy comes for me. Vecra's eyes softened, pride flickering across her face. Then I will stay with you, she said, not because I am hunted but because I choose to stand here. Cole glanced at her, surprised by the warmth in her voice. You could start a new life, he said. You don't owe me anything? She took a step closer, her voice low, honest. Maybe not, she whispered, but I owe the galaxy a fight, and I would rather fight beside you than run alone. For the first time since she arrived, she touched his hand, not as a fugitive or a stranger, but as an equal, someone choosing her path, not fleeing from it. Cole felt the weight of the world lift slightly from his shoulders. The wind carried distant thunder, not from storms, but from engines in the sky far above. New lights appeared in orbit, sharp, organized, unmoving. Vecra raised her head, eyes narrowing. Syndicate reinforcements. Cole shook his head slowly. No. The lights shifted formation, forming a signature Cole had never seen, but felt somewhere deep in his blood. Ancient human warships. Engines silent, weapons cold, not attacking, simply watching. The beacon had been heard. Vecra whispered, "Your people are returning." Cole watched the sky with a calm, steady heart. "Let them come," he said. "This story is just beginning." The winds blew across Redstone Plains, carrying smoke, stars, and the first whispers of a war older than memory. And on a lonely ranch in the middle of a desert world, a human and an alien outlaw stood together, not as strangers, but as the first soldiers of a rising legacy. Their fight had become legend. Their land had become history. And the galaxy had just learned why humans should never be underestimated.